fifth grade. It's Friday, so that's exciting. You will be using your language books a little bit. Welcome to language. But our goal today is to write our final draft for our research paper. I had such big plans. About 3 weeks ago on Friday, I had planned out what we would do next in our research paper. On Monday, we would rewrite our conclusions and work on our topic sentences. Then the next day, you would edit. And then the next day, we would write our rough final draft and all that. But then 3 weeks ago on the Sunday, was it 3 weeks? I think it was 3 weeks. The school shut down, so we could not. So I had waited just because I wasn't sure how we were going to finish our research paper. But I decided that we would try our best. So I have your folders here. You should have them, when you see this video. And I edited them. So I was going to let y'all edit them at school using a checklist. But I decided, since I couldn't supervise y'all, I decided to do it. So we're going to quickly go over that. I have a video for each of y'all that is separate from this video. Just kind of an overview of all the corrections that I suggested that you make. And hopefully it's not so confusing. Your papers are marked up. I just went through and real quickly, these are some things that you might see. You might see 3 lines underneath a letter. It means you must capitalize that letter. For lowercase, I normally crossed out a letter and wrote LC for lowercase. It should not be capitalized. Other things were maybe a comma or a period. I also often did that. That means you should put a comma or a period there. Sometimes I wanted you to add a word or a phrase. So I might have done, let's say the sentence is here, and I wanted you to add and the. This is just an example. That means you would add those words in there when you come to it. Some things that I really appreciated and I was impressed about when I was reading your research reports was that I saw sentences that didn't just start with the subject. They maybe started with a clause or with a phrase before you wrote the subject. And that was really cool. I liked reading that. Like, for example, while Abe was sitting at his desk, Tad ran up to him. Tad is the subject, but you wrote a phrase before you wrote the subject. I saw some good transitions between paragraphs, between sentences. I saw juicy descriptive words. We did that actually in school when we took our highlighter and replaced words using a thesaurus. We'd already done that, but that was good. Things I changed and the mistakes that I saw were periods and commas, missing periods, missing commas. Some sentences did not come in chronological order, which means it did not come in the order of the person's life that you're writing about. So sometimes I kind of move sentences around in order for it to flow better, and so your reader doesn't get confused. I saw some repeated information where you maybe wrote a sentence up here saying something, and then you rewrote it in different words, but it was saying the same thing below. So I may have taken out a sentence, all that. So, like I said, you'll have a video that I'm sending out to you personally, just as an overview of all that. I would suggest try to decide when you should watch that video. Before maybe you start writing, you should watch it, just so you know what all the symbols mean and all that, and what I'm saying for you. All right, let's get into this. We are writing a final draft. It is, for this section, we were not having a test. This will be counted as your test grade. So your rough draft will get a grade, and your final draft will get a grade, and your illustrations will get a grade, but we'll talk about that later. Today's goal is to write our final draft. Then on Monday, we'll be writing our bibliography, and we'll be putting our illustrations in our report, and we'll be putting everything together to make a nice report. A note on illustrations. Most of y'all have illustrations. Some of y'all, your printers were not working. You need 3 illustrations, including your title page. So your title page must have your title, and you can color it, paint it, whatever. We talked about this before. You'll need a title page, and then you'll need another page with, you could have 2 pictures on it. That'd be fine, because that'd be 1, 2, 3 illustrations. If you have more pictures, you can put it on 2 different pages, but you must have 3 illustrations, including your title page or your cover page. If your printer is not working, I would like you to send me images over WhatsApp that you would like, and I can print them out and I'll send them home with you so you can use them in your report. Most of you have 3 illustrations. If you don't, look in your folder, make sure you have 3 illustrations. If you don't, you should get them. Alright, let's get started. Final draft. Number 1, take rough draft out of your folder. Open your folder. Alright, this is Judson's. Oh, here's an illustration. This would be his cover page. So he has this cover page. Your rough draft is past your outline and past your notes. So most of your rough drafts are 4, 5, 6 pages. You can take them all out. It's where I marked them. It's where I marked everything up. Take them all out. Don't rip them out. Open your folder, take them out. Alright, number 2, turn to the next blank page in Notebook. So, after you take your rough draft out, you should turn to the next clear page in your notebook. This is where you're going to start writing your final draft. Write your title exactly the way it is on page 238 in your language. So take a moment, open your language books to page 238. Go ahead and do that. Okay. The title for the sample report was Billy Sunday, from the ballpark to the pulpit. Notice how they skipped a line. At the very top line, notice how they skipped that line, went to the second line and wrote their title. Notice how it's kind of centered. They didn't start at the very left margin, they centered it on the page. You should go ahead and write your title. Remember, you're using your rough draft. You are writing your final draft off of your rough draft. So for example, Judson's title is Ray Woodster Daniel Boone. He centered it very nicely. He will copy this. Hold on, don't write. I forgot to say something. You may use a pen. You can get your favorite pen, and you may write in pen. If you don't want to write in pen, that's fine. You can use pencil. But if you want to, you can write in pen. It's your fancy pen. You can get glitter pens. You can get, I don't even care if you use color pens. That's no problem. Just so it can be fun for you to write your final draft. I know for pens, well, Miss Candace, what if I make a mistake? That's okay. That's no problem. Something I can do, if you cross it out on an ice board, I could highlight over it, so no, I can white out over it, and that would be fine, no problem. Maybe your mom has whiteout you can use. If you make a mistake, you can just white out over it. That's something pretty cool about whiteout. So, we're on step number 3. Write your title exactly the way it is on page 238. 238 is a guide for you. Copy the guide. Don't ask me, Miss Candace, I don't get it. Well, if you look at page 238 and you see the title, write it exactly like they have the title. You're writing your title. And this is in pen. Alright, skip a line. Just like page 238, they skipped a line. Go ahead and skip a line. Now you can start writing your final draft. Paragraph by paragraph by paragraph by paragraph. Single space, this is important. Do not skip a space. Follow page 238. They did not skip a space. It's single spaced. Every space must have a sentence. Right? Write on only one side of paper. So this is how you did in your rough draft. It's nothing new. I just wanted to go over it. This is your first page. of your final draft, you will not write on this page. You're going to start writing again on this page. This page will be blank. So this will be page 1, page 2, etc., etc. When you're finished writing your whole report, paragraph by paragraph by paragraph, put rough draft back in folder in front of your final draft. So you wrote your final draft, go to the start of your final draft, and put all your rough draft back in the order that your rough draft comes in. Number 8, after you're all done, and it's such a good feeling, and I'm sure it looks beautiful because I'm sure you went slow, and I'm sure you used your Sunday best handwriting. Remember how we talked about how your rough draft it's your everyday handwriting. Your rough draft is to get your thoughts out on paper fast, so you don't forget them, and so your writing can just flow out. Now we already wrote a rough draft. It's time to write super neat with a pen, make it all professional. Don't stress out too much. I know some of them might stress out like, well, Miss Candace, it's not neat enough. And some of them will grip your pencils really hard. And you write, and you write, and you write, and after the 3rd page or 2nd page, your hand will become so tired. Relax your hand, okay? Be conscious about writing neat, but don't let it ruin the fun of writing. Just keep your hand relaxed while you write. All right, number 8, proofread out loud to yourself. After you're finished, you need to go outside or go somewhere, or you can read it to your mom, I don't care. But you're reading it to your mom or your family will come later when we share it with other people. So now proofread it by yourself. So go outside and go somewhere and write, can't talk. Make sure it's out loud because sometimes your brain puts in words that you actually didn't write down. You might have missed the, you might have missed a, you might have missed a period, you might have missed a host of things. So read it out loud to yourself and hopefully you'll catch those errors. And if you do, go ahead and correct them. I think that is all. I wish I was here. I wish y'all were here so I could watch you write your final draft. It's always kind of fun. But you can get your writing section all set up. Get your writing table or all set up. You get like your coffee or your tea or whatever you're drinking, and put some music on, some piano music, and so it's very, very serene, and it can help you write good. But no, you'll have to ask all your mom for that stuff. So it's between you and your mom. But it is fun to make it special, writing to make it special with a special pen and with any kind of extra things. All right, make sure you follow all these steps. I will be here if you need any help. I'm proud of your work, and this is all we have to do today. Once you finish all these steps, you are good to go. Have a wonderful weekend, y'all, and I'll see you on Monday.